guys, it's Umonecou here and welcome to another episode. So today I have on my episode my fiancé again.
Again, I know.
Yeah.
I'm so bored.
We're pretty much in the same background too. Today we're actually going to be talking about a topic that's pretty hot right now in the news if you're in Canada, and if you're not in Canada it's probably made international headlines, but it is Jian Ghomeshi's trial. Little backstory, he used to be the host of a show called Q. He's just been acquitted, I guess.
Yeah, like just today, so very, very recently.
Yeah, Jian Ghomeshi was Canadian. We don't hear about these things too often compared to the States.
Big scandal, yeah.
Like it was a pretty big scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he was a pretty high up radio personality too, so I think that he, like he was obviously a very well-known person in the Canadian community, so and then this just kind of happened like randomly. I guess the accusations were, I think, leveled last year.
Yeah.
So it's all very recent. Like it's kind of been a whirlwind
of events that have just happened.
Yeah, exactly.
That. But what we want to talk about is actually the kind of hype that's surrounding it and why it is kind of whacked or crazy.
Yeah.
So take it away.
Yeah, so I guess there's like this outrage about how he shouldn't have been acquitted. Like, so basically, I mean, like I've heard that, lots of people think that he should have been convicted. But I mean, my question is, well, why? Based on what we know, the evidence against him was, some women who claimed that he assaulted them. I mean, fair enough, like, that could be true. But in a court of law, there has to be hard evidence for that to be a strong case, and it seems like there wasn't. So I'm not sure why there's this thinking that he, therefore, should have been convicted when there was really no evidence to make that happen.
A lot of people have been posting about it on social media and just saying things like, okay, he was guilty, like, we all know that he was guilty, kind of like the O.J. Simpson trial. In this case, the witnesses just don't have a, a credible story because they weren't being completely honest. There are a lot of takeaways from this, and I think one of them is definitely not to be outraged by the fact that he wasn't convicted. I think at the end of the day, he has no shot of making it ever again in the Hollywood industry or any other industry for that matter. The biggest thing that we can take away from it is to say that if you have ever been raped, assaulted, or victimized in any way, you need to come forward in the span of the next 20 minutes. That for a lot of people, they may think, oh, okay, I can't do this, it's just too much, I can't handle it, I can't handle the stigma, blah blah blah. But then don't come forward 10 years later expecting people to actually trust what had actually happened to you. Because it's kind of like Lone Boy Cried Wolf, honestly. I mean, it's not to say that that it's ever the victim's fault. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying that at that point, the ball's in your court after you've been raped, to actually take a stance and come forward and to speak about what actually happened to you, to get that medical testing done right away so that they can collect as much physical evidence as possible so that they can actually convict the person who did whatever they did to you. And I think that if you wait for a long period of time, you're just making your case way weaker. No matter who you are, if you're a victim of anything, if you could actually give physical evidence somehow, you need to do it right away after the event happens. Yeah. I
mean, I think one thing that's strange is that these events were all alleged to have occurred in 2002 and 3. So, and these events were actually they were revealed last year, so basically 10 plus years after the fact, and all at the same time too. So I think that raised a ton of suspicion in the minds of the judge and jurors. So I think I don't really understand why they waited so long if their accusations are in fact truthful. Why did they wait so long to actually bring them to light? It just seems a bit, that's not to say that they didn't happen, but why wait so long? It seems just strange.
Even if you are a victim of any kind of a crime, right? Take for example robbery, right? You wouldn't wait for 10 plus years to report a robbery. It just wouldn't happen. If somebody came into my house and and stole something from me, I would definitely report it right away. And yes, and like, you know, like I understand like that there's a stigma, like a certain amount of a stigma attached to rape victims, and like, but I think if 9 out of 10 times people are not doing it, then there are going to be way fewer cases that are being reported, and then things like this can happen. Like where, you know, where if he is guilty, which we don't even know if he's guilty or not, but if he is guilty, he would not have been convicted of that crime anymore because there's just no evidence like to support what you're saying, or like, you know, what your story is if you're a victim anymore. All of us, like, you know, jump to the conclusion like that he is actually guilty because we don't know that. We honestly don't. Like, you know, I think that yeah, like, you know, okay, the victims could have been parading around just like, you know, wanting media attention. We don't know. We honestly don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean,
yeah, it is a possibility.
Logically possible. Basically, A, there was no hard evidence against him, and B, the evidence that there was inconsistent and sometimes false stories given by 3 women. So, I mean, certainly these things could have happened, but in a court of law, there was nothing to prove that they did happen. And I mean, certainly things can happen with there being no way to prove that they happened, but in a court of law, you need proof. It's innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, to those who think that he should have been convicted, why? I mean, what evidence was there to convict him in a court of law? If someone comes forward saying that they were raped, I mean, obviously that doesn't mean that they were not raped, but it also doesn't mean that for sure they were raped. So I think, I mean, basically it's just the fact that we have to assess a case given the evidence that there is.
If you're a victim of rape, I will leave a whole lot of information in the description box below, at least for people who are in Canada and in the US. If you have been assaulted in any way, even if you're, you know, and if your house has been robbed, don't wait for more than like 20 minutes to report it, okay? Like, just don't, like, you know, get out of that mentality of, you know, of, oh, there's gonna be this stigma attached to me. No, it doesn't matter like what stigma is gonna be attached to you, you just need to do it. Like, you have a duty to the rest of humanity to put a creep behind bars.
And the evidence on your side will be strongest the faster you report it, because your memory of the event will be best, and you'll have the most physical signs to prove that you were in fact assaulted.
We're definitely not saying that rape victims shouldn't come forward and speak their minds even years later, but if you do, just keep in mind that there is a very high chance that you may or may not be trusted in a court of law. You will, however, be trusted if you come in right away and if you speak your mind right away. And that's it, guys! So to end on a happy note, I don't know, vegan cookies. All of these things happen in life.
Food.
Yep, all these crazy things happen in life, but they shouldn't hurt your inner peace. So, you do a crazy face. Let go your ego and go vegan. Bye, guys.
All aboard the compassion ship.
Are you coming yet?